Hello, this is Jacob P. with AviNation, and we are here at Sun and Fun 2026, and we are on Tram Talk. And I am going to introduce our guest.
I'm Cathy Blessing. I'm president of Alpha Eta Rho, International Aviation Fraternity.
Awesome, and thank you for coming on and taking some time out of your busy day, and I know you guys got a lot of ground to cover today. I met you guys, you and your husband Jim, many years ago. You guys are in the aircraft financing side. And yeah, I never knew early on, but you're heavily involved in the Collegiate Aviation Alpha Eta Rho and mentoring and all that. And like I said, I run into people all the time I've known for years, and now that I'm in that space of youth aviation, I see these same people, and you just don't realize, because most of us are humble when we do that kind of thing. We're doing it to help, and so we're not tooting our horns, but it's really cool to see that. And when I saw you guys, I was like, oh yeah, they've been doing this for a long time and helping these young people get, navigate their career. So you want to tell us more about the fraternity and what you guys do there?
Well, one of the big things Alpha Eta Rho does, first of all, we're aviation, all aspects of aviation. So we have students that want to become commercial pilots. We have students that are interested in airport planning, design, and airport management. So very vast, diverse area of aviation. One of the things we put on is a Collegiate Aviation Symposium that we do towards the end of February or early March, depending on the year, up at Ohio State. They've been our sponsor the last 2 years and will be again. They do a great job of supporting the organization and the symposium. We try to bring in different speakers. We had Ed Bolin in the past, the head of NBAA, come in and speak to us, which was great, and to the students, trying to encourage and teach the students more about aviation. We want to help them in any career path within aviation, whether that's an airline pilot role, but we want to expose them too to different things like business aviation or aircraft financing or aircraft sales. Right? And my day job is actually air traffic control system design work. I'm a human factors engineer, but I use my background and my pilot experience in aviation as well as my master's in human factors to do that job.
Right.
So we like to talk about that diversity, right? So many different things you can do.
Yeah, and like you said, you have this whole other engineering, that side of things, which I had never known about you until, well, I think maybe at NBAA when we started talking about that. And so, that's what these mentors bring to the table. There's so many different skills and soft skills. And, I saw you guys this year, NBAA. You guys we're booth neighbors. And it was very clear to me that we do similar things, that you guys are heading that up and doing similar things and giving these students experiences in the aviation industry, whether it's through shows or mentoring. And we do the same thing. We bring in newbies to these shows and show them what it is. And it's very clear at NBAA, and just being a fly on the wall as your neighbor, and you coaching these students on, hey, go out and do this to learn that. I mean, just showing them how to get information and what they need to do and how to present themselves. I was very impressed. And of course, the students are hungry for that. They're very receptive, very respectful students, and so it's very neat to see that working in action.
Yeah. It's so inspiring when you go to, say, the symposium, or we're able to bring in a lot of students to NBAA base, courtesy of NBAA. They sponsor the students to come in, and you see that passion again, that passion we had when we were students.
Yep.
And it's exciting, and it's very invigorating for us to be a part and to help. Because we're at the point in our career, we're not looking for more ourselves.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
It's just fun to see that energy, that excitement, to watch the students come in and say, like the base or to Oshkosh for their first time. And see the diversity and to see everything that's all encompassing of aviation.
Yeah.
It's exciting. We have those same feels.
Yep.
And we like to share that. And of course, help network the students, help introduce them to different people in the industry.
Yep. No, and I think that's key, and that's really what our calling is for all the industry people. I mean, we got to give back, and it's more evident now than ever with the shortages and so yeah, that's definitely a thing. What's the website? How would a potential member, a student member, find you guys? Where are you guys at? Everywhere?
So that yes, we've got over 24 chapters throughout the U.S. We're always adding more chapters. It takes 10 attend members of a university, usually with an aviation program, but technically it doesn't even have to be, just people that are interested in aviation. Because we also understand business aviation, right? That's not always, right? Business majors might be interested. You never know what areas. But we do have Alpha Eta Rho website, alphaetarho.org. They can go in there, they can look us up. If a university or college does not have a chapter, they can reach out to us and we can help them start a chapter. Or maybe they had one in the past and for whatever reason, that chapter has gone away. We can help them bring it back.
Oh, that's cool. You guys are real hands-on then in helping navigate.
We try to guide the students. We have an executive director. We've got different board members we've got one, and his responsibility is chapter development to help bring people on. He was a FedEx person, and now he's moving on to United. I think he's just transitioned that, so we're very excited for him.
Very nice. Yeah, it's really cool. What really struck me when I first started in this space was the willingness and eagerness for the young mentees who really maybe haven't even been completely mentored in our eyes, are already like throwing themselves down to help others, the ones just like them, just steps before. And I think in Alpha Eta Rho, that's very obvious to see too.
Our alumni, we're a brotherhood and sisterhood, a fraternal organization, and that means a lot to many of our members. I mean, we've got friends that were in our wedding, we're still friends with. And again, people in all different aspects, airport management, pilots, looking to get some of them to come in and speak to the symposium, which will be great.
That's good.
They want to come and give back.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, that's what aviation's about, and that's where the real fun for me is seeing that happen, and being part of those groups that are doing that.
It's the shared passion.
It is a shared passion, and that's like with AviNation. Well, I don't have a story. We all have a story. We all have that spark if we really are passionate about it, And those that aren't, they still have a spark when they thought it was at least cool and they want to be around the the aviation community. And and it's organizations like you guys are involved with that are making these mountains a little less daunting. As you know as well as I do, is that once you get to the mountain you can see on the other side, it's just a really small village.
Yeah, it is a very small village. And one of the things too, it's like we know a lot of students come in, they want to be professional pilots, which is fantastic. Obviously there's a shortage there. We need professional pilots. But there are others who may not want to fly, or something happens, they can't fly. And one of our focuses too is to help those students understand so many of the different things they can do.
Yeah.
Right? If something happens, you can't fly, let us help you. We actually have a member of the fraternity up in the Denver area he lost his sight after becoming a private pilot. And he's working to still be in the industry because of his passion.
I'm gonna give a shout out. I'm gonna give a shout out to that anonymous gentleman that is an inspiration to me. He has written articles for the magazine.
Right, he's fantastic.
It is so cool, and that is so important. That's one of my main personal missions with what we're doing, is to showcase the different opportunities. There's so much talent, and we all want that talent in our industry, but it's easy for young people or even mid-pivoters to be turned off because they think it's only this or that, right?
Yes.
And I think that's our jobs with organizations like Alpha Eta Rho to help uncover that, so we're not, the entry point's a little softer for those that don't like flight or don't want to be a mechanic or whatever.
Or, and I know you help with this, like young people that want to fly, and maybe they don't come from a background where they can afford flying, right?
Yep.
And you have different connections to help them understand scholarships and whatnot. But a lot of times you get into the industry, some companies will even help you learn to fly because they know the value of that.
Yep, and the real challenge is finding those opportunities, and they don't just present to people who are unknown or new people coming in. And so that's where, it's so important for these mentor networks to...
The networking is huge.
Yeah, and every time I talk to somebody like yourself, it's very obvious we're all trying to do similar things in different geographical locations most of the time, but we're all moving at just a little bit at a time, and there's, there's just absolutely joy on, like, how do we help each other? There's none of this, like, oh, over here, it's none of that. And so I'm seeing that all across the country, and it just gives me great hope that, we're gonna, as an industry, we're gonna get it all together on the education side and all that, so that these barriers aren't near as bad as they were.
And when you're talking about nothing like this, like we love when our different chapters come together and maybe go to one of the other fly-ins or something, and they might have a little competitive fun.
Yep.
Right? But again, we're all family. It's an aviation family, a fraternal organization. And seeing the chapters come together at the symposium and network, meet each other, shake hands, become friends, contacts, help them each one can help each other with different internships, opportunities they don't know. Again, It's just so inspiring to see that.
It is. I mean, and that's why we do that.
Yes.
I mean, and to see, for me, watching these young people gain these soft skills that sometimes almost aviation can only offer, right? Just because of how, the industry, and to see those skills just boom.
They develop.
It's something, and I had young kids that grew up in the air show because I brought them, and it's very interesting to see that. And soft skills today are so important. I mean, more so than ever, in my opinion.
Agreed.
With digital and people, emails, all that. And so, when we can coach young people to pick up the phone and do a follow-up call from an email or something, that's when I'm seeing that with this generation, and it's great. And it's because we have organizations like yours and many good organizations out there that are teaching those, so.
I only say the symposium we put on not only exposes the students to different areas of the industry, but it helps. We do some workshopping from soft skills. And I also want to go on record and say that while Alpha Eta Rho puts it on, it's for any collegiate aviation student.
Oh, good.
It is. It's
Good.
open to any student that wants to come.
Good. Yeah.
So we hope to get people in and see what we're doing and
Yeah, and I think
inspire them.
That's important because you want everybody that's wanting to go that mission route. That's hey, we want to be a group, and there's nothing like that in aviation to belong to something with like-minded people. You feel like you found your home.
Yes, and in fact, when I was a freshman at Florida Tech, and I got introduced to Alpha Eta Rho, that was the thing. It was like, hey, we're all here because we love aviation. That's what brought me in. I got introduced to some sororities, but I was like, yeah, we got one senior graduating that can help you with aviation. Oh, but I'm here for aviation. I'm here, that's what I want. I'm majoring in, that's what my passion is for. And I just loved getting in with a whole group of people and doing things that was aviation related.
Well, and I think that's so important because you really have to keep focus. And that's having the like-minded group like that, I think is so important, especially with the missteps that young people can have today with all kinds of things that young people get into. Having that support group that says, hey, no, this is going to affect your outcome.
Yes.
Where maybe the other students aren't looking at that.
Yeah,
right?
and that's a big thing. We're a professional aviation fraternity. We come to the symposium, we have the students dressed professionally. We talk about acting professionally because this is lifelong. Again, aviation, as you said, it's a small village.
Yep.
We're all connected, word gets around. So you've got to be professional or it'll get out there that you're not very quickly.
Yeah, it will.
We've learned that in the 20 plus years we've been in the
Yeah,
industry.
and it doesn't take long to see those bridges burn with people that just don't have that same integrity, right?
Yes.
And integrity is what it is. And again, I think having a group that you can go to, and I never went through a college aviation program, but I can only imagine, especially from talking to a lot of young people just about to go into them and people are in them, that'd be a little overwhelming as a young person, especially if you're going away from home.
Yes.
And you're in this thing that most people don't understand as a career. They're like, oh yeah, over there. And so I think something like that is so vital. And I'm sure over the years you guys have had feedback about that. And, and I'm sure that you have many members doing all things space and earth and everything else. And so I think that's the moral of the story is, get all the networking and help you can get, especially when you're starting out, because those are lifelong connections, right?
Yes, absolutely lifelong connections, which is great.
Yeah. So it was a pleasure talking to you. And again, the website is
alphaetarho.org.
Okay. And they can get all the information they need, and they can probably find information about the upcoming Symposium in February.
Yeah, and I think early March this year.
Early March.
Early
okay.
March. Yeah.
Awesome. Check the website for details. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cathy.
Thanks. Appreciate it.